the peak without no regret. You got no love without no love. You got no regret without no regret. You got no love. A melody where I belong in this life. And the melody on my escape, vibration on my soul, it sends me to the peak. Can't we find any life without the music around? There will always be one love on life.
For Post 22 baseball, and today we have the winning pitcher in the game last night, played Thursday night as Post 22 won over Mountain West of Utah. Great pitching performance by Kyle McGuire, whose ERA is so microscopic you actually get a microscope out to see what it is. But Kyle, talk about the win last night. How did you feel going in, and what do you think gave you the success? You allowed only one hit.
I guess good preparation, warming up in time. I know tournament play we have a little shorter, so you got to speed everything up. But then really in the game, it was all defense. The one hit was all because the defense helped me out.
Let's talk about your routine, though, when you pitch. You just mentioned warming up in the bullpen. Let's say during a regular season game or any game, how long do you warm up before the game?
I personally take a little longer than everyone else. I like to make sure I'm hot and ready to go, so I probably take 15 minutes probably in the bullpen, and then another 5 minutes out on the field just to play some catch.
You know, most of the teams you play, you don't know anything about them. Never seen them before, never played them before. So as you go through a lineup, you start that first inning, you go through the lineup the first time, going through the second time. Talk about adjusting to hitters once you've thrown to them one time. Do you remember what they do and where you want to throw the ball?
Yeah. Going through the first, you learn some things, and Timmy does a great job at picking up things. And so we'll meet in the dugout with Coach Messer. We'll meet and talk about certain stuff we want to throw to certain batters. And you kind of keep little notes in the back of your mind.
Pitches. How many pitches do you throw?
I have 4 pitches. I primarily throw my fastball, and then I change up a slider and a curveball.
And how many times you said primarily fastball? Say, what would be your percentage of fastball thrown?
I would probably say 85 to 90%.
Really?
Yeah.
And the other 3 pitches are really pretty, not very many times.
Right, yeah, it's, 0-2 count, maybe try and get something. Like, I throw fastballs probably first time through the order, to everyone. And then second time through the order, that's when I start introducing new pitches.
And when you're throwing your good fastball, what does it do?
Honestly, I think it's just pretty straight. I don't really have too much tail in my ball, so it's pretty straight.
Do you have any goals coming into the season, Kyle? Personal goals?
Personally, yeah. So last year I wasn't a fan of how I performed, and so I used that to motivate me for this year. And like I'm out to prove a point to myself, to my teammates, to everyone that I can compete and I can perform. So
there seems to be great camaraderie among us.
Yeah, our team is, we're a group of brothers. Like, we're so tight. Sometimes we can get on each other's nerves, but
as brothers,
but we all come together and we're united, so it's best.
Kyle McGuire with us. This is Post 22 Baseball. Tom Rudebush with you, and on with the Firecracker as we are into day 3. Hi again, everyone, from Fitzgerald Stadium on Hardhat TV. It is Post 22 Baseball from the Camping World Firecracker Tournament featuring Post 22 and Missoula, Montana here this afternoon. with Mark Benetti. This is Tom Rudebush, and our director is Destin Human. And we have a post-22 team with a record of 2-0 in the Firecracker tournament against Missoula 1-1. Missoula has just won by a score of 6-2, beating Las Vegas. Las Vegas also lost the early game today to Yakima, Washington 12-4. So going into this game, here's what the standings look like. Post 22 and Eden Prairie are 2-0. Rocky Mountain, Mountain West, Premier West, Yakima, and Missoula all 1-1. And Vegas is 0-4. And Mark, a very important game early in the tournament because tiebreakers are head-to-head. And if you end up with a Missoula win over Post 22, down the road, that could come back to haunt the Hardhats.
That means you essentially have to win out, and you have to hope that Missoula loses another game so that they don't have that tiebreaker over you. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out with this game today. Keep in mind, Eden Prairie is also in the same boat. They're 2-0 as well. So every game in this tournament is that much more critical, and that's what makes round robin play in a tournament like this so exciting, because you could drop the first game of the tournament, win out, and still miss out on a possible championship berth depending on how the rest of the standings shake up. So it adds a lot of excitement here for these fans and shows you why exactly it is so hard to win this Firecracker championship.
The tiebreaker is head-to-head as we get through the tournament, and the second tiebreaker is least runs allowed. So it's always important to get good pitching and give up as fewer runs as you can. Most runs scored would be the third criteria. And heaven forbid, let's hope we don't get to the fourth criteria, which is the coin flip. We want to thank Camping World for Post-22 Baseball, Camping World for supporting this annual Firecracker tournament. They're your one-stop for sales, service, and accessories. Camping World, just outside of Rapid City on I-90. And as I said, driving by them a couple of days ago, it's amazing all the options they have out there for you at Camping World. Well, after this game, we're going to have Rocky Mountain 1-1 against Mountain West 1-1 at 5:30. This should be an interesting game. Eden Prairie will take their 2-0 record against Yakima, Washington, which is 1-1. And then Post 22 comes back and plays tonight at 8 p.m. as they'll take on Premier West. Mark, it was an excellent pitching performance last night by Kyle McGuire. And as some of the fans may have seen in our pregame here on Hardhat TV, our interview with Kyle, and also it'll be on Facebook. Very interesting what Kyle told me. We talked, he says he throws 4 pitches, but he throws 85% of his pitches are fastballs. His slider, his changeup, his curveball account for only 15% of his total pitches on average. You know, some games you may throw a few more or a few less, but I thought that was very interesting because, his fastball, he says, really doesn't have a lot of movement to it.
It doesn't, unless he goes to a two-seam, in which case that ball will dance all around the zone. And Kyle has the form and he has the velocity to have a two-seam fastball really with a lot of movement on it. Kyle, it's an interesting breakdown at 85% to 15, but it also makes sense because that is his best pitch. Kyle is at his best when he's locating his fastball. He has such pop on that pitch that if, again, going back to the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if that's what's working for you, go to it. That way, batters expect the fastball, and that's where his 15% on that mix-up with his off-speed pitches and his breaking pitches comes in, because they'll be expecting high cheese, and before you know it, that ball's dipping low and away, and they look like an idiot for swinging out of their boots. So it's good on Kyle that he sets up with the fastball and he builds the other pitches around it.
You know, one of the other interesting things, and if you get a chance to watch it on Facebook or on the Post 22 website, is motivation for this year. He talked about how disappointed he was personally in his season last year. And he set goals for himself this year, and he wanted to prove to his teammates and I guess to himself that he was a much better pitcher than what he showed last year. And mission accomplished so far. He has done just a wonderful job for the Hardhats this season. And when you look at those innings he threw last night, allowing just 1 hit, teams are batting 156 against Kyle this year. and his earned run average on the season now is 0.31. He's 7-0 on the season. So anyway, it was just nice to visit with Kyle and get some of his thoughts on his season so far. One other interesting thing I found out before the game was our pitcher that Post 22 faced last night. We talked about him. We talked about how his coach said he can't hit 90. But talking with Coach Messer, Mitch didn't think he got up above 83 last night. But then talking with Cooper Bowman, Cooper said he threw knuckleballs. And he got a couple of knuckleballs that were thrown at him. And so that was kind of interesting. I don't know if he threw very many during the course of the game, but Cooper said he got lucky and got to see a couple of them, but had a little trouble with them. But so I thought that was kind of interesting last night with Post 22's win over Mountain West, 8-3 last night.
That's crazy to be able to throw a knuckleball at this level. That's a hard pitch to command. It's a hard pitch to throw, and it taxes your shoulder like no other pitch. So good on that gentleman for learning the knuckleball and throwing it the way that he did. That's outstanding. Speaking of pitching, let's go back to Kyle McGuire. Last season, he did go 1-2. He only had 11 appearances, and 4 of them were starts. 26 strikeouts to 38 walks, and he had a 6.4 ERA in 27 1/3 innings of work. And he primarily came out of the bullpen last year. Would get a couple of spot starts here and there, similar to what we're seeing from Tommy Wall, where he's primarily a bullpen gentleman, but if you need to start from him, you can throw him on the mound. So good on Kyle to take that upon himself. And you compare that to what he's done this season. After last night's big win, he's now a perfect 7-0 in 10 starts and 12 appearances, 45 2/3 innings, and 47 strikeouts to 33 walks in that microscopic 3.1 ERA. So again, good on that young gentleman for taking it upon himself to put the time and the effort in to change things around. And to the fact that he still thinks he can do better only shows how much drive he has on that mound for Post 22.
So the coaches are meeting down at home plate. Coach Hathaway of Missoula has been coaching them for many, many years. And Coach Messer of Post 22 down with the umpires here as we're just about set to begin. Partly cloudy skies, sun popping through every now and then. But a lot of clouds in the area, but no real threat of rain in the forecast. Let's get those starting lineups.
So the coaches are exchanging their lineup cards. We've got lineups in front of us, so let's get right to it with Missoula batting in the top halves of our 7 innings. Their lineup features number 20, Nick Jovetic in the leadoff spot. He'll patrol center field on defense. Batting second is number 2, James Martin. He's defensively positioned at second base. Batting third is number 7, Dane Frazier. He's playing out at first base. And in the cleanup position for Missoula's number 16, Sam Busey. He'll patrol left field. Batting fifth is number 21, Spencer Schock. He is the backstopper and catcher. Batting sixth is number 24, Ryan McHugh. He's playing out at shortstop. Batting seventh is number 1, Drew Leonard. He'll patrol right field. Batting eighth is number 13, Trad Richardson. He's in the hot corner at third base. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for Missoula is number 18, Parker Stevens. He is the designated hitter. Number 12, Dylan Chalmers is on the mound as he will face the Post 22 Hardhats lineup. They'll bat in the bottom halves of our 7 innings of regulation, and the lineup is as follows. Leading off is number 11, Walker Paz, positioned at second base. Batting second is number 13, Zach Solano. He's patrolling right field. Batting third, number 22, Cooper Bowman. He's at shortstop, and in the cleanup position is number 23, Eric Petrie. He is actually patrolling left field in this afternoon's contest. Batting fifth, number 28, Zach Sumption. He'll patrol center field. Batting sixth is number 31, Luke Ferdinand, out at first base. Batting seventh is number 21, Timmy Paris, the backstopper and catcher. Batting eighth is number 17, Todd Stevens, inserted to the lineup as the designated hitter this afternoon for Post 22. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot is number 14, Justin Kramer. He's in the hot corner at third. Zach Cholis is on the mound for Post 22 tonight. Tom, this is a very important start for a number of reasons, and we'll talk about those in just a few moments. But for the lefty, number 29 on the mound, he has 10 innings of work under his belt, and today will be his 6th appearance of the season and his 4th by virtue of a start. He has a perfect 2-0 record under his belt with 17 strikeouts to 8 walks and a 4.2 ERA. And Tom, you and I were briefly commenting off the air that today's a very important day for not only this baseball team, but for all of American Legion Baseball. And given that news, it's also very important for Zach Cholis.
Well, the 18-man roster, which has to be filed with the state and national office for postseason tournament play, must be decided by supposedly midnight tonight. They have to file it tomorrow. But so, Carter Deming has hurt. He's had some shoulder problems. It doesn't look like Carter's going to be available for the team for a couple, 3 weeks. So that goes into a lot of this final decision. And so I guess we'll know more in the next couple days.
It's also important, too, for the Hardhats pitching staff because they need a left-hander to contribute. And the last time Zach got a start, it was a 2-inning start against Pier Post 8, way back at the start of this month. And Zach ended up going 2 innings of hitless and runless baseball with 5 strikeouts on 28 pitches. And while we were still doing the award, he was my post-game MVP. So he had a great outing. Let's see what he does against Nick Jovetic, the leadoff hitter.
The left-handed batter for Missoula, and the first pitch from the left-hander Cholas is outside for ball 1. And we are underway at 12:27 this afternoon here on Hardhat TV. Game time temperature 70 degrees here in Rapid City. And another fastball is high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Missoula 1-1 in the Firecracker, and they've scored a total of 6 runs. Swinging a foul tip, and it's 2 balls and a strike. They've scored 6 runs in their 2 games. Lost a real tough one yesterday to Eden Prairie, 1-0. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Cholas. Swung on, chopped over the mound. Here comes Bowman on the edge of the grass to field it at short. A throw to first base is good for the out. Jovetic out short to first. 1 up and 1 down in the Missoula first inning. Here's James Martin, the second baseman.
We can't stress enough how location is so critical, especially for Zach. And he's gotten that location and that control as the season's gone on against 17 strikeouts to 8 walks.
And the pitch is swung on, a soft line drive foul off of first base. 1 strike to Martin. A right-handed batting second baseman. Missoula, you might recall, has beaten Post 22 this year. If we go back to Sunday, May 7th in Billings, Missoula scored 5 runs in the 7th inning and beat the Hardhats 5-3. Pitch is outside to Martin for a ball. It's 1-1. One of just 4 losses for Post 22 on the season. This their 40th game. There's a foul off to the right out of play, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And if I recall correctly, Tom, that was the first loss of the season for Post 22 coming into that early stage.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Cholas into his windup. He delivers, and it's high for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Dave Frazier, the first baseman for Missoula, on deck. Missoula's always been very good fundamentally, and they play very hard. They compete tough. Here's the 2-2 pitch. High and tight, and it's a full count now on Martin at 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes, and the payoff pitch. Swung on, foul back. Still 3-2 on the Missoula second baseman. We stayed in Missoula on our recent road trip, although we didn't play there. We played down in Hamilton against Bitterroot. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's a ball high. So Martin draws a 1-out walk, and that'll bring up Dave Frazier, the first baseman.
Unfortunate to see that for Cholas. Like we talked about, control is going to be paramount, and we said that this is a very important game for him for a number of reasons. Limit your free base runners, but now you've got the double play in effect to end the inning. So throw strikes, let your defense do the rest.
Frazier, a right-handed hitter. Here's the set by Cholas. Ferdinand holding with the runner, and Cholas tosses over to first base. Missoula has won the Firecracker. They won it in 2010, and they beat Eden Prairie 10-9 in the championship game. They've been in the finals, I think, 5 or 6 other times. There goes the runner. The pitch is a ball. The throw to second is not nearly in time. It backed up by Cooper Bowman and a stolen base for Martin. Looked like a good pitch from Cholis, but it was ruled a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Just underway, top half of the first inning. Missoula batting with a runner at second. Here's the pitch. Swung on a bouncing ball again past the mound near second base, fielded by Bowman, the shortstop, and the throw to first for the out. Frazier retired short to first. 2 outs. And Sam Busey coming up, the left fielder.
And Martin advanced to third on that sequence of events, so 2 outs. Luckily, the sac fly is not in effect here, so Busey's going to need a base hit to draw first blood.
Busey, a right-handed hitter, and looks at a fastball high for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch on the way, and it's high and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Little different alignment in the outfield for post 22, with Sumption in center for this game and Petrie in left. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's a strike. Letter high on the outside edge. It's 2 balls and a strike. Zach Cholis delivers. And that one's high for a ball, and it's 3-1. Spencer Schock, the catcher, is on deck. 2 outs. Runner at third is Martin. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. And it's a full count. A pitch down. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Busey. Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. A pitch away, and Busey strikes out. Good comeback there from Cholis. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Post 22 comes to bat in the bottom of the first inning against Missoula. No score. And you're watching Post 22 Baseball on post22baseball.com. It's Hard Hat TV from Fitzgerald Stadium.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
Folks, if you've been watching Facebook on the Rapid City Rush Facebook page, I put out a little teaser that in this broadcast we're going to announce the next newest player that will represent your boys from the Black Hills on the ice in our 10th anniversary season. The announcement will be made at the top of the 4th inning in this ball game against Missoula, so stay tuned. For those that are just joining us, we have a lethal scoring threat joining this team, and I think you will be all super excited. Hardhats are coming to the sticks now with Walker Paz, Zach Solano, and Cooper Bowman due up. They will face Dylan Chalmers on the mound for the Mavericks. Defensively, he is surrounded by Spencer Schock as catcher, Dane Frazier at first, James Martin at second, Ryan McHugh at short, Trad Richardson's in the hot corner at third. Left to right in the outfield, Sam Busey, Nick Jovicic, and Drew Leonard.
Walker Paz takes the pitch low for ball 1 from Dylan Chalmers. Paz hitting at 375 on the season. Make that 395, and he takes a strike, and it's 1-1. 395 for Walker with 12 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs, and 25 RBIs. And the pitch. Curveball lined out into center for a base hit. Picking the ball up is Jovetic, and Paz has a leadoff single. And it brings up Zach Solano.
I think we've utilized every positive adjective in the thesaurus to explain just exactly how important Walker Paz is in that leadoff position. He's either hitting or he's walking. 20 bases on balls to now probably a 400 batting average.
Zach Solano hitting .365, tied for the team lead in home runs with 6. Second on the team in RBIs with 45. Here's the pitch. And a breaking ball misses outside, ball 1. Zach has 9 doubles, 2 triples on the season. Paz at first base. Frazier holding with him. Gets a pretty good lead off of first. A pitch on the way, and that's a strike called at the knees. And it's 1-1.
Walker can also fly on the base path. He's third on the season with 10 stolen bases. He's been caught 3 times, though.
Breaking ball is high, and it's 2-1 on Solano. Post 22's team average at .353. It's been right around there now for most of the season. Here's the set and the pitch. Strike on the low inside corner. Good pitch by Chalmers. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Want to welcome our viewers up in the Missoula area. What a beautiful part of the country. Certainly enjoyed our short stay there on our trip to Pullman, Washington. There's a hit and run and a driven ball to right center field for extra bases. Paz is going to score easily. And here goes Solano to second with a stand-up double. 1-0, post 22. Solano's 10th double of the season. And he gets his 46th RBI. And post 22 grabs a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning.
You couldn't have scripted that hit and run any better, and good on Zach to recognize that there was such a large gap in right center field. Pushes the ball, got all barrel on it too. It was a great piece of hitting by him. Switches places on the base path with Walker Paz, and Walker with his speed, there was no doubt he was going to score on that play.
Cooper Bowman hitting .470. Right-handed batter, 6 homers and 51 RBIs. And a strike on the low outside corner. No balls and a strike. Cooper with 6 homers, 51 RBIs, leads the team with 55 runs scored on the year. Hits a bouncing ball to short. The runner's going to go to third. Here's the peg to first base by McHugh for the out. So Cooper retired short to first. Solano to third, 1 out. And it brings up Eric Petrie.
Good to see Eric back in the field on defense. He's been the designated hitter virtually the entire season. So nice to see him get a snap out there and left.
Eric hitting .388, 6 homers and 30 RBIs, and takes a pitch outside, ball 1. Solano at third now. The infield remains back with 1 out. 1-0, post 22 here in the last half of the first. There's a line drive to second, and it's short hopped by Martin. He'll throw to first for the out. Nice play by the second baseman. It was kind of hit off the end of the bat, and Martin was able to short hop it, the ball bouncing just a foot or so in front of him. Again, wasn't really hard hit. Second to first to retire Petrie. And Solano couldn't quite make a move for the plate, not knowing if the second baseman was going to catch the ball. There's a pitch in the dirt, blocked by Schock. It rolls off to the left. Holding at third is Solano. Zach Sumption with a count of 1 ball. Nice article about Zach in today's Rapid City Journal. Richard Anderson writing that story. And Zach, 7 points now behind Cooper Bowman for the team lead in hitting. Zach at .463, 2 home runs and 30 RBIs. 2 outs and Solano at third base. A quick trip to the mound by Coach Hathaway. And back to the dugout he goes at first base. Catcher Schock returns behind home plate. Here's the pitch. Swung on line to short and caught by McHugh. So Sumption lines out to short, and Solano ends up being stranded at third base. But a run on 2 hits for the Hardhats in the first inning. They leave 1 on. At the end of 1, Hardhats 1, Missoula nothing. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball and probably watching it right here on Hardhat TV.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
This is dumb. End of 1, 1-0 Post 22. Here comes Missoula against Zach Cholas in the top of the second. Spencer Schock, the right-handed batting catcher, leads off. And Zach's pitch is lined to first and past Ferdinand into right field. Hustling over near the foul line to pick it up is Solano, and Schock with a leadoff single here in the second. Just to the right of the outstretched glove of Luke Ferdinand at first base.
What a play that would have been to add to Luke's highlight reel. He's had a couple of web gems in the last few games that he's played over there at first.
Here's Ryan McHugh, the shortstop, right-handed batter. Ferdinand holding with Schock. And the pitch on the way is bunted back towards the mound. Cholas fields it. He'll make the quick toss to first. And McHugh is retired on the sacrifice bunt. 1-3 on the putout, moving Schock to second base. And that'll bring up Drew Leonard, the right fielder, number 7 hitter. Leonard's a left-handed batter. And the center fielder, Sumption's going to shade a little bit over towards right center. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. One ball, no strikes to count. And Zach's pitch. Bounce towards third. Here comes Kramer on the grass. The throw to first base got him. Nice play, Justin Kramer. Kind of an inside-out swing by Schock. He hit it off the bat handle, but hit a slow bouncer to third, and Kramer came in on the grass, made the off-balance throw to first base, and that was a very nice play by Justin Kramer. 2 out. Schock has to hold at second on the play, and it brings up Trad Richardson, the third baseman. He's a right-handed batter. He swings and misses for strike 1. 2 outs now for Missoula with a runner at second. Hardhats leading 1-0 here in the top of the second. Here's the set by Cholas. His pitch, high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Post 22 has a second game today. That'll be the final game tonight at 8 p.m. against Premier West out of Denver. We'll have that here on Hardhat TV, of course, and also on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. Here's the pitch to Richardson. Up and away, and the count is 2 balls and a strike. Schock walks off the bag at second. Here's the set by Cholas and the pitch. Swing and a miss. The breaking ball down, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach's done a pretty good job here early in the game, mixing this breaking ball with his fastball. In and out, up and down. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch on the way. Too high with a fastball. And it's a full count. He did walk Martin with 1 out in the first inning. He's recorded 1 strikeout. He's got a payoff pitch here to Richardson, the number 8 hitter for Missoula. Shock at second. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Parker Stevens, the DH, is on deck for Missoula. Chola's ready. Here's his payoff pitch, and he lost him. It's up and away for ball 4. So Zach gives up his second walk. Missoula has 2 on and 2 out. And the number 9 hitter, Parker Stevens, up the designated hitter. Stevens, a right-handed batter. Ferdinand will play in back of Richardson at first. Here's Cholas' pitch. Swung out, a bouncing ball past the mound near second. Fielded by Bowman to the right-hand side of second. He flips it to first for the out. Boy, Cooper gets such a great jump on that ball, and he made that look easy. He was about 3 or 4 feet to the right of second base on the infield grass when he fielded that ball and made the easy toss to Ferdinand. No runs on 1 hit for Missoula. They strand a couple of more. We go to the bottom of the second from Fitzgerald Stadium. Post 22-1, Missoula nothing. You're watching Hardhat Baseball on Hardhat TV. Post 22 comes to bat here in the bottom of the second with a 1-0 lead. Missoula's been coming to the Firecracker for a lot of years now. I think this is about 15, 16 years they've been coming to the Firecracker. Coach Hathaway, a good friend of Dave Plouffe. Here's a pitch in for a strike, and it's 0-1. Luke Ferdinand stepping in for the Hardhats, left-handed batting first baseman. Luke hitting .338. No homers, 18 RBIs. And a breaking ball from Dylan Chalmers in for a strike, and it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Luke with 7 doubles on the year. Here's the pitch. And he misses outside, 1-2. Good 0-2 pitch there by Chalmers. Timmy Paris on deck, and then Todd Stevens to follow. There's a ball sliced off to the left foul, and the count runs along at a ball and 2 strikes.
Good protective swing by Luke. Just threw his hands at the ball, pushed it opposite field.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Checks his swing, and it's high for a ball. They appeal at first, and the appeal not allowed. 1-2 balls is the count. And 2 strikes, and there's a swing and a foul off the end of the bat. Post 22 averaging 10.5 runs per game coming in. And for the most part, that's been around that average all season. Another foul down the left field line by Ferdinand, and it's still 2-2. Dylan Chalmers delivers. Swing and a miss. He threw a breaking ball in on. Ferdinand and struck him out. Chalmers records his first strikeout. Here's Timmy Paris, the catcher. Timmy hitting .305, 2 home runs and 37 RBIs. Post 22 catcher swings at a breaking ball and bounces it foul outside of third. Timmy leading the team in doubles with 15. Chalmers ahead on the count, 1 strike. The right-hander's pitch. Swinging a foul back. And it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes in the pitch. Bounce to third. Knocked down by Richardson. He recovers, makes the throw to first in time for the out. So Timmy Paris retired third to first. And that'll bring up Todd Stevens, the designated hitter.
Unfortunate that Timmy couldn't unhook the plow when he hit that because of the bobble by Richardson over at third. I think if he had turned on his jets, he could have made it, but unfortunate. That's 2 up, 2 down to bring up Stevens.
Todd hitting .417. He has 4 doubles, a home run, 11 RBIs. And he takes a strike called. Stevens with 10 hits and 24 at bats. In is the DH, batting 8th in the lineup today. Chalmers delivers another breaking ball and another strike, and it's 0-2.
A well-placed pitch from Chalmers. That froze Stevens. I think he was looking fastball on that because he started off speed.
Here's the pitch on the way. Outside a ball. Another good 0-2 pitch there by Chalmers. 1-2 on Stevens. 2 outs and the bases empty here in the last half of the second. Post 22 leading 1-0. Chalmers delivers. Swing and a miss. A breaking ball down in the dirt. And the play will go down to first base. So Stevens strikes out. Chalmers has retired 6 in a row now. 3 up and 3 down in the Hardhats second. End of 2 here from the Camping World Firecracker Tournament at Fitzgerald Stadium. The Hardhats lead Missoula 1-0. You're watching Post 22 Baseball on Hardhat TV.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
A run on 2 hits for Post 22 through 2 innings. No runs on 1 hit for Missoula. And Missoula will have the top of the batting order against Zach Cholas here in the 3rd inning. Nick Jovetic, the left-handed batting center fielder, will start things off.
Don't forget, folks, we are 1 inning away from the newest addition to the Rapid City Rush roster being announced right here on Hardhats TV. This is a big forward, a big scoring threat joining our club, and very excited to bring this gentleman along. He's actually played against the Rush on 2 different teams in this building, and he is super jacked to now be wearing a Rush R on his chest.
Nick Jovetic grounded out to short his first time up, takes a belt-high pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Cholas in 2 innings, allowing 1 hit. He's walked 2. He has struck out 1. The left-hander's pitch, and it's down low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, Sumption is shading more towards right center field on the left-handed batter. And the pitch outside at the knees, and it's 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That pitch had a lot of movement on it. Credit Cholas because his pitches they're dancing in the zone right now.
2-2 on Jovetic. Here's the pitch. A ball just outside. And it's a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Nick Jovetic. Cholas into his motion, the payoff pitch, and it's a ball inside, a fastball tailing inside, and the leadoff man on again here for Missoula. 3rd walk given up by Cholas.
A couple of disgruntled umpires in the crowd voicing their displeasure. I think arguments could have been made, Tom, on the 2-2 pitch that we're looking at a backwards K in the scorebook, but that's why we're up here and we're not umpires.
James Martin, the second baseman, up batting second in the order. He walked in the 1st inning. And Cholas delivers in tight for ball 1. This is the last of the days. We'll have 6 games in a day. We go to 5 games for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 5 games starting at 9 a.m. in the morning. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball over for a strike. 1-1 now on Martin. Post 22 with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the 3rd inning. A lot of good matchups today. Setting the stage for tomorrow's game. Cholas throws to first. Quite a road bunch of teams. 5 teams at 1-1 right now going into this game. Post 22 and Eden Prairie at 2-0, leading the standings. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Pitch is a strike. Throw to second base. The runner going, and he is out at second base. Walker Paz taking the throw from Timmy Paris. It hopped to Walker, and he got the ball quickly, made that quick slap tag, and they were able to throw out Jovetic. 1-2 on Martin.
What a tag by Walker Paz. That was close. I don't know how the heck he pulled that off.
Whew. 1 ball, 2 strikes in the pitch. A swung on, hit the left field. Petrie, almost in his tracks, makes the catch for the 2nd out. Eric hardly had to move. 2 down, and that'll bring up Dave Frazier, the first baseman. Right-handed batter. He grounded out to Bowman at short. His first at bat. Here's the pitch. And a strike just on the outside corner. When was Zach's last performance?
Zach's last performance was against Pierre at the start of the month, and he went 2 innings through 5 strikeouts, no hits, no runs.
And the pitch is outside, a ball. Gosh, I thought he threw here at home.
That was at home.
Okay.
Pierre traveled here. We had played them earlier in that week, and then or earlier the prior week, and then they came the next week and played on a Wednesday.
Strike at the knees here to Frazier, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wind is blowing out towards right field, blowing out of the north, as it's been blowing all season, it seems like. 1-2. Here's Cholas' pitch. Swung on and fouled back to the screen, and it's still 1-2.
That game against Pierre, by the way, the last time Cholas got a nod was on June 7th. Hardhats got a big win against Pierre Post 8.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the windup by Zach Cholas. The pitch on the way, and it's hit foul down the right field line. Towards our group of fans that we interviewed yesterday, that group of gentlemen down there, we'll call them, that have been watching Post 22 baseball, one of them since the early 60s. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Breaking ball, just missed outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Frazier, the first baseman for Missoula, number 3 hitter. Cholas delivers, and he misses low and outside, so he has a full count. Zach has walked 1 in each of the first 3 innings. He walked Jovetic to start this inning, but he was thrown out trying to steal. Here's the windup by Cholas in the pitch. Swung on, hit the second base. Fielded by Walker Paz, and the throw to Ferdinand for the out. Second to first retires Frazier. No runs, no hits, no post 22 errors, and nobody left on base. 2.5 innings of play here at the Firecracker, sponsored by our friends at Camping World of Rapid City. Post 22 leading by a score of 1-0 over Missoula. You're watching Post 22 baseball on Hardhat TV.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
Hardhats 1 and Missoula 0 as we head to the last half of the third inning. Justin Kramer will lead off for Post 22, hitting .356. Right-handed batting third baseman has 10 doubles, 3 home runs, and 23 RBIs for Justin, and he has played just an outstanding third base here the last 3 weeks of the season or so, and takes a strike at the knees. This Post 22 defense, infield-wise, when they're all on top of their game, are very, very tough. Kramer takes another hook, and that's in for a strike, and it's 0-2. Walker Paz on deck, Zach Solano to follow. Dylan Chalmers, the right-hander for Missoula, delivers. Ground ball into right field, a base hit. On a 2-strike pitch, Kramer hits one through the hole to right. Hit number 3 for Post 22.
Good opposite field hit to start off the bottom half of the third for the Hardhats. This is a tight ball game right now at 1-0, and Missoula's already lost a 1-0 heartbreaker, so you've got to strike any possible way you can, and good on Justin Kramer, not only to lead off with the hit, but to do so opposite field.
Paz singled to center and scored the run in the first inning. Takes a breaking ball strike on the outside corner. 0-1 on Walker. Frazier holding with Kramer at first base. Third baseman Richardson in on the grass. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a big bouncer. Richardson gets it, moving to his left, makes the quick throw to first base for the out. Nice play by the third baseman of Missoula. Kramer moving to second on the play. Paz out third to first, and that brings up Zach Solano. Zach on a hit and run play. Walker was running in the first inning, and Solano doubled to right center. To drive in Paz, his 46th RBI, and takes an off-speed breaking ball a little bit low for ball 1. Outfield playing straight away on Solano. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit through the hole into right field again, a base hit. Kramer rounds third. He will come home and score as the throw comes into second. So Solano driven in both 22 runs as Kramer scores to make it 2-0 Hardhats. Solano now with 47 RBIs in the season, and that's hit number 4 in the game for Post 22.
Now, I know we're only 3 innings into this ballgame, Tom, but twice has the Hardhats leadoff man hit to get on base. Both times he's come around to score, so nice little trend.
Cooper Bowman bunts the ball and foul at the plate. 1 strike. Cooper trying to bunt for a hit there. Cooper grounded out to short his first at bat. Here's the throw to first base, and Solano is back.
By the way, Tom, going back to what we were talking about earlier with Zach Cholas, his last start was actually on the Denver trip in Premier West. He started, but only the first 2/3 of the inning in the first inning.
Runner goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second is off the glove of the shortstop and trickles into right center field, but it's backed up, and There are runners at runner with a stolen base. The second baseman, Martin, went over to try to get it, but the shortstop had to end up fielding the ball. Stolen base for Solano. And for Zach, that's his 16th of the season and 17 attempts. So he's in scoring position. That's the start I remember because Zach really struggled that game. There's a ground ball hit to second. Sharply hit. Fielded by Martin. A throw to first for the out. Solano goes to third. Bowman out. Hit the ball sharply, but right at Martin, the second baseman. And it brings up Eric Petrie.
And in that start, he gave up 5 runs, all of which were earned. 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 5 bases on balls was what did him in.
That's the start I remember because he looks like a totally different pitcher here today, which is great to see. Breaking ball, low and outside to Petrie. Eric grounded out to second, his first at bat. 2-0 Hardhats here in the last half of the third inning. They have a runner at third and Solano with 2 out. Chalmers delivers. Swung on, line to right field. Leonard coming in, makes the catch. Petrie lines out to right to retire the side. 1 run for post 22 on 2 hits. And they leave a runner at third base. Hardhats have a 2-0 lead over Missoula here at the end of 3 innings of play. You're watching Post 22 Baseball from Fitzgerald Stadium, the Camping World Firecracker Tournament right here, every game throughout the season on Hardhat TV.
Hey there, Rush fans. This is Mark Benetti alongside you. Hope you're enjoying your Friday afternoon as we lead into a big holiday weekend celebrating July 4th next week. Because it's Friday, not only are we celebrating the fact that the weekend's coming up, but we're also going to have a little fun with you today, Rush Nation, and announce a new player coming to the Rapid City Rush roster for our 10th anniversary season. Today, I'm going to make the announcement on the air as I broadcast Post 22 Baseball with the first game of our doubleheader starting today at 12:30 as a part of the Firecracker Tournament. When the Hardhats take on the Missoula Mavericks, I'll make the announcement at the top of the 4th inning in the ball game. So tune into Hardhats TV, which you can find on www.post22baseball.com and learn who the new.
Well, all set now for the top half of the 4th inning here at the Fitz on day 3 of the Firecracker Tournament, which means we have a big announcement to make for the Rapid City Rush. I'm proud to announce on behalf of Coach Tatro and the Rush organization that lethal scoring threat Kenton Miller, 60-year veteran forward, used to play for the Missouri Mavericks and Wichita Thunder, is the newest addition to the Rapid City Rush heading into our 10th anniversary season. So now we kick off the top half of the 4th. Zach Cholis is still out on the mound, and his first pitch to Sam Busey, the 4-hole hitter, is up high for ball 1. Busey's 0 for 1 with the only strikeout of the ball game that has been issued by Cholis. His 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed, and the count evens up to a ball and a strike. Kenton Miller, again, he's a big scoring threat for the Rush. He is the big announcement that this Rush club is making today. So, big congratulations to the newest addition to the Rapid City Rush family. 1-1 from Cholis. Swung on and missed. And it's a ball and 2 strikes now to Sam Busey. One ball, 2 strikes the count. And the next pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Second strikeout of this start for Zach Cholis. Both of them have been charged to Sam Busey. 1 up, 1 down. That's going to bring us to the catcher, Spencer Schock, who is 1 for 1 with a single. That was to lead off the top half of the second. First pitch from Cholis. Just missed on the off-speed pitch. 1-0 the count here to Schock. One ball, no strikes to the Mavericks pitcher. And the 1-0. Swung on. The ball is fouled to the right of our press box. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike the count. And the next pitch, called strike at the outside corner, and it's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes now to Spencer Schock. Full windup for the lefty Cholis, and he deals. It hits him. Hit him right on his thigh. And Schock will take a free trip to first. So unfortunate to see on the 2 strikes. Again, another hit batsman, but Schock will take first base once again. That's going to bring up Ryan McHugh, the shortstop, who sacrificed Schock over to second. Back in the top half of the second. However, Schock did not come around to score. Man on first is Schock, hit by a pitch. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. The Hardhats with a 2-0 lead. And the first pitch is a curveball outside for ball 1 to Ryan McHugh. Ball and no strikes to count here to McHugh. Jolis, the lefty, a look at first. And the pitch rides upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. So I hope everybody's excited for that announcement just a few moments ago. Kent Miller, who came off of his second career 30-goal season last year with the Elmira Jackals and the Wheeling Nailers, now a new member of the Rapid City Rush. 2-0 pitch. Swung on and it's pulled foul. Third base side and out of play, and the count goes to 2-1 now for Ryan McHugh. Got a chance to talk with Kent Miller yesterday. He is insanely excited to come out here. Used to play for the Mavericks and the Wichita Thunder among a multitude of other teams and was quite fond of playing against the Rush in this building. Next pitch swung on and that ball's hit high in the air to left center field. It has some lengths, it has the distance, and Zach Sumption making the dive, can't make the catch. It goes all the way to the warning track. Rounding third and heading home is Schock. Bowman's going to eat the ball, and it's a 1-out RBI double for Ryan McHugh. And the Missoula Mavericks are on the board. The Hardhats still lead. It's 2-1. So a big RBI hit there for Ryan McHugh, who absolutely torched that to the gap in left center. And credit Zach Sumption, he laid out for that ball and just narrowly missed it. So now it's Drew Leonard, the left-handed hitting right fielder, coming up. And his first pitch is a breaking ball that just missed. And Leonard starts off 1-0. Leonard on the ballgame's 0 for 1. He grounded out to Justin Kramer at third the last time he was up. 2-1 is now the Hardhats lead. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Leonard. That's a called strike at his knees on the outside corner. Looked like Cholis went with a slider of sorts there, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Cholis a double take to second, deals his 1-1, and it hits him. And Drew Leonard, the second hit batsman of the inning, will take first base. And now we're going to have a conference on the mound with the Hardhats infield and pitching coach Jason Hers. So unfortunate to see Cholis in this inning after a great start. Hit 2 batsmen. One of them has already come in to score. And you'd hate to see that next one come across. So now Trad Richardson comes up. Trad Richardson has men on first and second. With 1 out here in the top of the 4th. His first pitch swung on, hit high in the air to center field. Sumption charging to his left makes the catch. Tagging up at second, but not moving, is McHugh. So Sumption gets a big out in center field. The second one of the inning. Men on first and second still. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Parker Stevens. So big moment here for the Hardhats. As they try to preserve this 2-1 advantage. First pitch, swung on and it's hit to short. Bowman gets it underhand toss to second to get the forces in time. And that will end the threat and the top half of the fourth. So it's a run on a hit with no errors charged to post 22, and 2 men left on the base path. And at the end of 3.5 innings, exactly half of regulation has concluded, and post 22 still holds on to the lead, but now it is cut in half to 2-1. We'll be right back in just a few moments as the Hardhats transition from defense to offense with the bottom half of the fourth inning. Zach Sumption, Luke Ferdinand, and Timmy Paris are 2 up. Stick around, folks. You are watching and listening to today's broadcast, as always, all season long on Hardhats TV, which can be found on post22baseball.com.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1940.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Zach Sumption starts off by reaching on an error that will be charged to shortstop Ryan McHugh. So the leadoff man for the third time in 4 innings now for the Hardhats on offense is aboard. That's going to bring up Luke Ferdinand. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Cooled off a little recently after having a red-hot Palouse Summer Series out in Pullman, Washington. Dylan Chalmers still on the mound, and the first pitch is ripped foul, third base side and out of play. 0-1 the count to Ferdinand, who since the start of the Palouse Summer Series has averaged an RBI per game. 7 ribbies since last Wednesday, 7 games played. Here's his 0-1. Runner goes. Pitch is fouled. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Sumption, Ferdinand, and Paris were the 3 scheduled to hit. Sumption on the base path, reaching on an E6. And Ferdinand in the middle of an 0-2 battle here with Dylan Chalmers, the starter for the Missoula Mavericks. 0-2 to Ferdinand. Misses way outside, and the count goes to 1-2. Seems to be the MO of Chalmers when he gets ahead, especially 0-2. He tries to get the batter to fish away. Nobody's fallen for it just yet. 1-2. Just in time was Sumption. Ball and 2 strikes still the count here to Ferdinand. Post 22 has a 2-1 lead. And the 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Ferdinand trying to avoid a second K in the scorebook. Timmy Paris on deck, grounded out to third his first time up. Check down back to first, Sumption safe. And so it's still a 2-2 pitch we're waiting on to Ferdinand. For those that just missed it at the top half of this inning, Rush announced Kent Miller is the newest addition to the Rapid City Rush for next year. Ferdinand fouls that one off to keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes as rain starts to fall. A little precipitation out here at the ballpark. At this point, I'm not even shocked that we have precipitation. This is the 3rd day in a row it's happened. Really 5th, going back to Monday. 2-2 pitch is low. 3 balls, 2 strikes now the count here to Ferdinand. Ferdinand looking to avoid the strikeout. 3-2 from Chalmers. Runner goes. Swung on. Ball is hit to second. Stop is made on the play by Martin. Throw to first is in time. In the ensuing sequence of events with Sumption moving to second, he is safe at second. So the 4-3 ground out retires Ferdinand, moves the runner to scoring position, and that's going to bring up Timmy Paris with a chance to knock in a run. Precipitation kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't see it until I looked at the black pole to the left of our press box. Blended in very well with our backdrop here. First pitch to Paris. Low and away, ball 1. Want to know the count to the Hardhats backstopper? Paris again 0 for 1 of the ball game with a ground out to third. He has Zach Sumption at scoring position at second with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Post 22, holding on to that 2-1 lead over Missoula. 1-0 pitch, swung on and fouled. And the count evens up to a ball and a strike. Kent Miller, as I mentioned earlier, the newest addition to the Rush, coming off of his second career 30-goal season, and he did so with the Elmira Jackals that were the absolute worst team in the ECHL last year. So for somebody to chime in with 30 goals on a team struggling for offense, that is great to see. So imagine if you put competent line mates around him. 1-1 pitch is fouled. Ball and 2 strikes the count. If you can get some good players to feed Miller the puck, good things will happen. And he was quoted telling me yesterday that a lot of his goals either come off of a shot from the slot, which Coach Tatro absolutely loves his release, or they come off of loose pucks in front of the net. A big forward at 6 feet, 200 pounds, he likes to go to those dirty areas, and sometimes that's how you score in hockey. You got to take a beating to ignite the goal lamp. Check down to first, not there in time. Sumption safe. So we still have yet to see a 1-2 pitch thrown to Timmy Paris. 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th. Hardhats looking to expand on a 2-1 lead. Another check down to second, and it goes into center field. Sumption's going to take off for third. Jovetic gets to the ball. He will not have a play there. So an E1 will allow Sumption to advance to third. Second error of the ball game and second of this inning for Missoula. And Timmy Paris now has a man 90 feet to his left, and the sac flies in effect to give the Hardhats a third run. Infield's in. 1-2 pitch misses low and away. 2-2 the count. And again, the infield's in. They're trying to keep this a 2-1 game and hold the runner at third on an infield grounder. Anything out of the infield will score the run. 2-2, low and inside, and the count goes full. So big payoff pitch here for Timmy Paris. Chalmers, full windup, 3-2. Swung on, ripped into left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Sumption's going to trot home, and Timmy Paris will triumphantly stand on first. A 1-out RBI single for the Hardhats catcher, and it's now 3-1 post 22 with a man on first and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. And Paris will be substituted by Connor King. Connor King coming in as a courtesy runner, which in this tournament is allowed only for catchers. So King taking over courtesy running duties. Man on first, 1 out. Sumption comes in to score. It's 3-1 post 22, and that'll bring up the DH, Todd Stevens. Stevens' first pitch is ripped into left. That's going to drop for a base hit. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Connor King rounds for third, and he's going to hang on. Todd Stevens, in the meantime, has a stand-up double. So the Hardhats, with back-to-back hits, now have 2 men in scoring position, and that's going to bring up Justin Kramer in the 9-hole. Todd Stevens' first pitch absolutely torched that in the left. So Connor King's on third. Todd Stevens is on second. Kramer has a chance to knock in 2 more with men on second and third, and only 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch to Kramer, low and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count, and it's raining fairly decently here. Nothing that could delay the game as of right now, unless the umpires feel it's necessary. Infield's in again here for Kramer. 1-0 pitch, swung on, and that ball's pushed high in the air to right, and it will drop for a base hit. Scoring from third is Connor King, and holding at second is Todd Stevens. A 1-out RBI bloop single for Justin Kramer, and the Hardhats' advantage is now 4-1 with the men on first and second, and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. So Connor King scores from third. Stevens had to hold on second. He didn't know if charging in from right, Drew Leonard would make the catch. So we could have had men on the corners, but good on Stevens to make the smart play, the sure play, and stick to his position on scoring position. So now Walker Paz, the second baseman's up. Men on first and second, and he's 1 for 2 with a single, and the first of 4 Hardhats runs scored. First pitch misses outside, and Paz starts off 1-0. Paz, one of 2 left-handed hitters in this lineup for the Hardhats today, the other one being Luke Ferdinand. Check to second. Just caught, but not in time by Ryan McHugh. Chalmers already has an error on the mound because of an overthrow checking at second. 1-0 pitch. Paz fouls it off of himself. And he goes sprawling down on the ground, and hopefully he's all right. He'll take a walk to try and walk that off. Ball and a strike now that count to the Hardhats second baseman. Paz again 1 for 2. He singled to lead off the bottom half of the first. He grounded out to third in the bottom of the third. Zach Solano's on deck. He's 2 for 2 with a pair of RBI hits, a double and a single. So he's a triple and a homer away from the cycle for those keeping track. Men on first and second for Paz. 1 out, bottom of the fourth. Here's his 1-1 pitch. Swung on and pulled foul, first base side. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Coach Hers tried to barehand that. Didn't have any luck in the first baseman's coach's box. 1-2 now to Paz. Chalmers checks Stevens at second. Runner goes, pitches low, and everybody's going to advance. Kramer takes off for second, and Stevens takes off for third. So now it's 2 men in scoring position on the double steal. And the count's even at 2-2 as it was low to Paz. I gotta say, I really like Todd Stevens as a base runner. 2-2 to Paz. Swung on, and it's hit foul into the fence of the Missoula dugout. And the count will hold even at 2-2. He loves playing that cat and mouse game with pitchers while he's on the base path. He'll deke them out. He'll fake and feign and try and throw them off their mental game. That time it paid off with a double steal. 2-2 to Paz. Ripped into right, just foul by probably a half a foot. That was awfully close. Otherwise, Walker's knocking in 2 more. And the Hardhats lead would be even bigger, but right now it stays at 4-1. In this inning, it's 2 runs on 3 hits with 2 errors charged to Missoula. And there's 2 men on the base path, second and third, and 1 out. 2-2 pitch to Paz, swung on, and that ball is hit high in the air to left. Charging in from left is Busey, but instead, the shortstop, McHugh, will backpedal, and he'll make the catch. So a pop 6 in the book, 2 down, still with 2 men in scoring position, and that'll bring up Zach Solano. So Solano's looking for a hat trick of run-scoring hits. RBI double in the bottom of the first, RBI single in the bottom of the third. 4-1, the Hardhats have the lead. 2 men in scoring position, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. First pitch, a curveball, called strike to Solano, and he's behind 0-1. And if Solano keeps this inning going, Cooper Bowman's on deck. 0 for 2, looking for his first hit of this contest. 0-1 pitch, swung on, and the ball is hit to short. McHugh charges, gets the stop on the run. His throw to first is low, and it's bobbled. And both runs are going to come in and score. I think that may have also hit Frazier in the face when it skipped, as he was clutching his mouth, trying to walk it off. So Solano is safe on the E6 throwing error, and both runs come around to score, because it was 2 outs and everybody was running. So Kramer and Stevens both come in, and the Hardhats lead is now 6-1, the third error of this frame from Missoula on defense, and now we're going to have a conference on the mound. And here's hoping that Dane Frazier, the first baseman, is all right, because, again, that looked like it popped him right in his jaw.
Yeah, that was a tough short hop to try to field by Frazier, and boy, you're always at the mercy of that hop. If you don't get it, boy, it can hit you right in the face. Post 22 will play again tonight. Don't forget at 8 p.m. against Premier West out of Denver. We'll have the game here on Hardhat TV and also on ESPN Radio, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, Rapid City.
First pitch skips in the dirt, and taking off for second is Solano. He'll be safe. So a pass ball will allow Solano to take second. And Bowman looks at a 1-0 count. It was low, but Schock had a chance to block it, and it went off his pads for the pass ball. 1-0. Bowman hits it high in the air to shallow right. Coming in from second to make the catch is Martin, and he will. And that will end the bottom half of the fourth. Well, the Hardhats deals some serious damage. It's 4 runs on the power of 3 hits. 3 errors were charged to Missoula, and there was a man left on the base path in scoring position. 4 full frames have been completed here at the Fitz. Post 22 now has a 6-1 lead over the Missoula Mavericks, heading into the top half of the 5th. We'll be right back in just a few moments, folks. You're watching and listening to the game as you can all year long on post22baseball.com on Hardhats TV.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
Four innings have been played here in Day 3 of the 2017 Firecracker Tournament. Post 22 with a 2-0 record in the driver's seat against the Missoula Mavericks. They have a 6-1 advantage heading into the top of the 5th. Numbers across the board for the Hardhats. It's 6 runs on 7 hits with no errors, and for Missoula, 1 run on a pair of hits, but 3 blemishes on defense, all of which came in the bottom half of the 4th and helped the Hardhats plate 4 of their 6 runs. Zach Cholis back on the mound. He'll take on the top of the order. Nick Jovicic, the first gentleman up, and he looks at an off-speed pitch for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Jovicic, the leadoff hitter for the Mavericks. 0 for 1 with a ground out to short and a walk in this ballgame. He was also caught stealing. 0-1 is fouled to the backstop. 0-2 quickly to Jovicic. He's followed by James Martin, the second baseman, and Dane Frazier, the first baseman. Both of those gentlemen have combined 0 for 3 with a base on balls and a stolen base. 0-2 misses high and away to Jovicic. 1-2 the count. Cholis about to throw his 70th pitch in this start. Full windup for the lefty to the lefty. 1-2, swung on it. It's chopped to short. Bowman on the high hop. Throw to first is in time. 6-3 in the scorebook. 1 up, 1 down, and that'll bring up James Martin, the second baseman. Is it me, Tom, or have we seen some abnormally high choppers in this tournament?
A lot of times that'll happen when the ground is really hard, of course, and I think that infield is pretty hard. Even despite the rain we've had the last couple of days, it really hasn't soaked it up.
First pitch to Martin, a called strike.
So dry in the area.
0-1 the count here to Martin, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a fly out to left. Here's his 0-1 pitch. Called strike on the inside. Nice breaking pitch from Cholis, and the count goes to 0-2. Very well placed on that inside corner. So now he's looking for a hat trick of strikeouts. 0-2 pitch. High and away. 1-2. Dane Frazier, the first baseman, on deck. 0 for 2 with a ground out to short and a ground out to second. Full windup for Cholis, the lefty. 1-2, swung on and missed. Strike 3. His third strikeout of the start. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 5th. Brings us to Dane Frazier. Good on Cholis to rebound after an unfortunate top half of the 4th where he hit 2 batters. And gave up a hit. First pitch from Cholis to Frazier. Rides upstairs, ball 1. Fastball coming from the lefty Cholis. Here's the 1-0. Curveball, called strike on the outside corner, and it's evened at 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 from Cholis. Swung on, and the ball is chopped to third, but it's foul. And now the count pushes to a ball and 2 strikes. Cholis looking for a 1-2-3 inning. And for his 4th K in the scorebook. Frazier steps back into the batter's box. 0 for 2, a pair of groundouts, looking for his first hit. 1-2. Rides high and inside, and the count evens up 2-2.
Missoula won the game just before this one. They beat Las Vegas 6-2 after losing to Eden Prairie yesterday 1-0.
2-2 from Cholas. Buzzes the tower high and inside with another fastball, and the count goes full.
Next game we'll have Rocky Mountain out of Colorado, the high school champions, against Mountain West of Utah. That's a 3 o'clock game.
Another payoff pitch from Cholas, and he deals to Frazier. Caught him looking, strike 3. And that is going to end the top half of the 5th, the 4th strikeout for Cholas in this start. A 1-2-3 inning on defense for the Hardhats, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. And at the end of 4.5, the Hardhats are still in the driver's seat. It's 6-1 over the Missoula Mavericks. I'll be right back with the bottom half of the 5th. Petrie, Sumption, and Ferdinand are due up here on the official web stream of the Post 22 Hardhats, which you can find all season long on Hardhats TV. Well, Dylan Chalmers is back on the mound now for Missoula after running into a tough bottom half of the 4th in which he gave up 4 runs on 3 hits, but his defense didn't really do him any favors. 3 errors were committed by Missoula, one of them from Chalmers on the mound. But nonetheless, a tough frame, and now he's back to it in the bottom of the 5th. They'll take on Eric Petrie, Zach Sumption, and Luke Ferdinand, 4, 5, and 6 in the order. First pitch from Chalmers to Petrie. Called strike on an off-speed pitch. 0-1 the count. Petrie 0 for 2 in the ball game. He grounded out to second in the bottom of the 1st and flew out to right in the bottom of the 3rd. 0-1 misses low. Another off-speed pitch, and the count is even at 1-1. For those that missed it earlier in our broadcast, we announced that Kenton Miller is the newest addition of the Rapid City Rush. A high-scoring forward. 1-1 pitch rides upstairs to Petrie, 2 balls and a strike. Second 30-goal season of his career, split between the Wheeling Nailers and the Elmira Jackals. 45 points last year with Elmira. 2-1 pitch is fouled. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And from Kenton, the first thing he told me was that he's very excited to play for the Rush, particularly because this is the closest he's ever been to home as a professional. He's a Saskatchewan boy. 2-2 to Petrie, swung on and fouled. And he stays alive with a 2-2 count. As he quoted in his press release, I'm a hardworking centerman. I do well on my faceoffs also. Anytime I score, it's generally off a shot in the slot or something loose in front of the net. 2-2 to Petrie. Swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to left field. It has some legs on it, but underneath it to make the catch is Sam Busey. So an F7 in the scorebook. 1 up, 1 down for Post 22 on offense. That'll bring up Zach Sumption. Coach Tatro is very excited to have this gentleman. He was quoted as saying he'll be a great power play guy because of his net front presence and his quick release on the slot area. He'll provide leadership as a character guy, and I also like the fact that he's a farm boy from Saskatchewan. Those are the words of your newest head coach. First pitch to Sumption, swung on, hit high in the air to left. That ball has some legs. That ball has some distance, and it is caught on the run at the warning track by Nick Jovicic coming all the way from center field. 2 up, 2 down on the F8. That'll bring up Luke Ferdinand. It was a great catch by Jovicic out there. So Ferdinand looking for his first hit of the ball game. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to second. First pitch, swung on, and that's hit high in the air to left. 3 gentlemen charging at it. It's in foul territory, and it'll drop. So Ferdinand gets a second life as the ball was lost in the Bermuda Triangle of McHugh from short, Busey from left, and Trad Richardson from third. If Ferdinand keeps the inning going, then Timmy Paris is on deck, fresh off of an RBI single. If he's retired, Busey, Schock, and McHugh are due up for Missoula in the top half of the 6th. 0-1 to Ferdinand. Misses low, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. We're very happy to have Kent Miller, though, playing for the Rapid City Rush. 319 career games as a now 60-year professional. 1-1 pitch, a called strike at Ferdinand's knees. 1-2 now the count. One ball, two strikes. And Chalmers deals, swung on, and the ball is chopped to the right side of the infield. First baseman gets a handle of it. That's Frazier, and he will tap first for the out. 3 unassisted ends the inning, unfortunately for Post 22, a 1-2-3 inning, which as always means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. And at the end of 5 full frames, Post 22 still in the driver's seat. They have a 6-1 lead. We'll be right back with the top half of the 6th. The meat of the order coming up for Missoula. In just a few moments, you are watching and listening to today's ball game on Hardhats TV.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Well, the Hardhats have substituted Zach Cholas out of the ball game. Dylan Ritchie will now take over pitching duties for Post 22 here in the top of the 6th. Cholas ends the ball game on 80 pitches with 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 earned run on 2 hits in 5 innings. He also hit 2 batsmen. But not a terrible start for Cholas as he now gives way to Dylan Ritchie. Ritchie comes into the ballgame for his 8th appearance of the season, 7th in relief. He has a 2-0 record under his belt in 10 1/3 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts to 6 walks, and a 6.1 ERA. And he will face the heart of the order for the Missoula Mavericks, Sam Busey, Spencer Schock, and Ryan McHugh. Hardhats with a 6-1 lead as we go now to the top half of the 6th. Numbers across the board for Post 22 at 6 runs on 7 hits with no errors. And for Missoula, 1 run, 2 hits on 3 errors. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you for all the action here in the 43rd annual Firecracker Tournament. Post 22 trying to protect its 2-0 record in tournament play.
Just want to remind the fans, too, that the fireworks display will be after the Hardhat game against Eden Prairie on Monday night. Monday night is the fireworks night.
Busey, the first batter that Ritchie will face, and he looks at a ball on a low fastball. 1-0 the count to Busey, who was 2 of the 4 strikeouts that Cholas had in the start. 1-0 pitch is fouled, first base side. Out of play, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Spencer Schock on deck, 1 for 1, a single, hit by pitch, run scored, and McHugh in the hole. 1 for 1, an RBI double, and a sacrifice bunt. Ritchie deals his 1-1. Off-speed pitch, called strike inside at the knees. 1-2, great pitch from Ritchie. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Ritchie looking for his first strikeout on his first batter faced in relief. 1-2 pitch. Just fouled. Are they calling that a fair ball? They're calling that a fair ball. And he's out at first. That took Busey by surprise. It was a check swing. He was trying to shy away from a pitch high and in. It went off his bat. He thought he fouled it, but it's a ground out, 1-3. Bizarre sequence of events. That's going to bring up Spencer Schock. And the Missoula third base coach is coming in to argue that with the home plate umpire. And now the umpires are going to have a conference here. And they're going to say he's out. So the first base umpire agreeing with the home plate umpire And Missoula's head coach, not the happiest gentleman right now. Well, it's good that the argument didn't escalate. Looked like it was going to there for a brief moment, though, after the call was confirmed. So now Schock steps in. 1 for 1, a single, a hit by pitch, and a run scored. Second batter faced from Ritchie. And the first pitch hits him. That breaking pitch got away from Ritchie. So a hit by pitch. Third one of the ball game for post 22 pitching. That'll bring up Ryan McHugh with a man on first and 1 out. McHugh, the shortstop, 1 for 1. Sacrifice bunt to the pitcher, and RBI double under his belt. Man on first and 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Hardhats trying to protect the 6-1 lead. First pitch from Ritchie is lined into center field. That'll drop for a base hit. Assumption comes into field and gets his relay to Bowman. So McHugh, his second hit of the ball game, 2 for 2 now with a double and a single. That'll advance Schock into scoring position at second base with 1 out. And that'll bring up Drew Leonard, the left-handed hitting right fielder, who's 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch as well and grounded out to third. So Dylan Ritchie now has first and second occupied surrounding him. He looks at second. Here's his first pitch. Swung on. Ball's popped up. Left side of the infield. Foul territory. Kramer gives way to Cooper Bowman, who makes a great catch on the run. Almost slammed into the fence. 2 down, and that'll bring up Trad Richardson. And you could have gone either way on that play, Tom. Either Kramer could have made the play in foul territory, and Bowman could have covered third for the runner on second, or we could see what we did there with Bowman taking over.
I don't know. Kramer apparently lost it. He was 15 feet from the ball when Cooper Bowman caught it. There was no chance for the runner to go to third base with the ball.
Richardson fouls that one into the Hardhats dugout. Everybody hits the deck, and he starts off 0-1.
That's Cooper Bowman. I mean, he's just involved, so focused on every play. He went a long way to catch a pop-up in foul territory.
No balls and a strike the count now for Richardson, who's 0 for 1 in the ball game with a walk and a fly out to center. Ritchie double takes to second. 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. No balls, 2 strikes to count as Ritchie's looking for his first strikeout in relief. He took over for Zach Cholas, who went the first 5 innings of this ball game. 4 strikeouts to 3 walks on 80 pitches. Hit 2 batsmen. Allowed only 1 run on a pair of hits. 0-2 from Ritchie. Caught him looking. Strike 3. And that's going to end the top half of the 6th inning. There'll be no runs on a hit with no errors charged to post 22 in the field. 2 men left on the base path. 1 in scoring position. And at the end of 5.5 innings of play, post 22 still in the driver's seat. They have a 6-1 lead over the Missoula Mavericks. This is their 3rd game of the 2017 Firecracker tournament. 43rd annual running of this spectacle here in the Black Hills. We'll transition to the bottom half of the 6th. And it's the bottom third of the order due up for post 22. We'll be right back in just a few moments. As always, on the internet, on Hardhats TV.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
Well, the start of Dylan Chalmers has come to its conclusion, and now Jaron Graham will take over for Missoula. So Chalmers, in his 5 innings, gives up 6 runs, only 5 of which were earned. He gave up 7 hits as well. Struck out a pair on 80 pitches. And now he gives way to Jaron Graham. And he will face Timmy Paris, Todd Stevens, and Justin Kramer, barring any substitutions. First pitch to Paris misses low and away on an off-speed pitch. 1-0. Graham, a right-handed pitcher, taking over for the righty in Chalmers. Paris, a right-handed hitter, steps in. He's 1 for 2 in this ball game with an RBI single and a ground out to third. 1-0 pitch is fouled, and the Hardhats backstopper now has a 1-1 count. There were no walks issued as well by Chalmers in his start. So 2 strikeouts, no walks, 6 runs on 7 hits in 5 innings. 1-1 pitch to Paris, high and inside. Off speed, 2-1. Paris looking for his second hit of the ball game. 2-1 pitch. Misses low and inside. And it's now 3-1 for Paris. Todd Stevens on deck, fresh off of a double. He's 1 for 2, also a strikeout. Justin Kramer, 2 for 2, a pair of singles, and one of them happened to knock in a run. 3-1 to Paris. Inside, ball 4. And so he draws the walk. So Jaron Graham issues a walk on his first batter faced in relief. Connor King's going to take over as a courtesy runner for Paris on the base path. And that'll bring up Todd Stevens. Again, 1 for 2 on the ball game with a double and a strikeout. He's the designated hitter for Post 22 this afternoon. Hardhats have a 6-1 lead on 7 hits with no errors. And on the other side, Missoula has a run on a trio of hits, also a trio of errors on defense. First pitch to Stevens, called strike at his knees. 0-1 the count. So as we mentioned earlier, Connor King taking over as the courtesy runner. He's already come around to score once. Check the first, not there in time. No balls and a strike the count here to Stevens. With King standing on first as the courtesy runner for Paris. 0-1 pitch misses low and away. A breaking ball, and the count is 1-1. Kramer is on deck. 2 for 2, a pair of singles, a pair of runs scored, has a stolen base and an RBI. 1-1, Stevens chops it foul, first base side. And the count now pushes to 1-2. Jaron Graham now in relief of Dylan Chalmers. 1-2 pitch. Goes through the 5-hole of Shock and to the backstop. It's low for ball 2, and Connor King will take second. So another pass ball. Puts King in scoring position for Stevens to try and knock in. His count is even up at 2-2. And Graham deals 2-2, swung on it. That's ripped into left, and it's caught on the play by the left fielder, Sam Busey, and retreating to second is King. A well-hit ball by Todd Stevens, but it's an L7 in the scorebook. 1 down, still with King in scoring position. Will bring up Justin Kramer. Kramer on the ball game, 2 for 2. He has a pair of singles under his belt. He's knocked in a run. He's also scored twice. First time he's facing Jaron Graham, the reliever. First pitch, a called strike at his knees. And he's behind 0-1. Walker Paz is on deck. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game. That would bring us back to the top of the Hardhats order. 0-1 pitch. Misses low. Shot gets the block. And King goes back to second. Counts even at 1-1 now for Kramer. Walker Paz now is sporting a shin pad, or an ankle pad, if you will, on his right ankle. He fouled a pitch off there moments ago in his last at-bat. Next pitch to Kramer's fouled, and it's out of play first base side. 1-2 now is count. He ended up popping out to the shortstop, but now he's taking some safety precautions. It's got to be one of the most painful things to foul a ball off your ankle. 1-2. Misses low and away. Shock lost it as it hit his padding and went to his left, so King will take advantage of third. Another pass ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count here to Justin Kramer. Kramer's looking for his third hit of the ball game as Schock comes to the mound and talks to Jaron Graham as reliever. Post 22 with a 6-1 lead here in the bottom of the sixth. They have a 2-0 record here in the 2017 Firecracker tournament. Eden Prairie sports the only other undefeated record, also at 2-0. Next pitch to Kramer. He pulls it foul into his own bench. Everybody hits the deck, and the count will hold even at 2-2. Missoula comes into this game 1-1. They won earlier today against Las Vegas 6-2. Lost a heartbreaker yesterday to Eden Prairie 1-0. What an exciting game that must have been. 2-2 is way outside from Graham, and that'll push the count full here to Kramer. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. Now a big payoff pitch here for Kramer. Man on third and 1 out. And it's low and away, ball 4. So Kramer is issued a 1-out walk. It'll be men on the corners now, and that once again brings up Walker Paz. 4th time that he has seen the left-handed hitting batter's box in this contest. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for post 22. 1 run, 3 hits, 3 errors for Missoula here in the bottom of the 6th. There are men on the corners and only 1 out. Paz 1 for 3, hit in his very first at-bat of the ballgame. Check to third, King's back. And he has yet to see a first pitch from Graham. So he singled in the bottom of the first, came around to score on Solano's RBI double. Grounded out to third, popped out to short in the next 2 at-bats. His first pitch is a called strike. And he's behind 0-1. Zach Solano is on deck, 2 for 3 with a pair of RBI hits and reached on an error the last time he was up. 0-1 to Paz. Runner goes. Pitches low for a ball, and Schock's just going to eat it. So Kramer takes off for second. There is no throw. Schock thought about it. He double pumped and then decided to just hang on to the ball because there was a runner on third. Could have taken home. 2-0 to Paz. Swung on a ball, hit high in the air to right field. Charging to his left is Leonard. He's going to make the catch. Tagging up at third and coming in to score is King. And Kramer will take third. So it's an RBI sac fly for Walker Paz. And the Hardhats have added on to their lead. It's now 7-1 with a man on third and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. So 2 outs. Kramer takes third. King comes in to score for the second time, courtesy running for Timmy Paris. Zach Solano's now up, and his first pitch is a called strike. Oh, excuse me, it's a ball. High and inside, 1-0. Umpire looked like he was going to point, and he didn't. It's incredibly anticlimactic. 1-0 to Solano. That's a called strike, and the count evens up at 1-1. Solano again on the ball game is 2 for 3. RBI double, RBI single, a stolen base. Reached down an E6 the last time he was up. 1-1, swung on, and that's pushed into left center field, and it's going to drop in front of Jovic for a base hit. Solano rounds first, and he will take his position back at first base. Scoring on the play is Justin Kramer. A 2-out RBI single for Solano, and the Hardhats lead is now 8-1. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
3 RBIs now for Zach in the game. He's had a run-scoring double and 2 run-scoring singles in the game.
And now Cooper Bowman 0 for 3 looking for his first hit and takes a pitch high and inside for ball 1. Pair of groundouts for Bowman to either side of the middle infield. And a pop-out to second. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to left field. That ball has some legs, it has some distance, and it is gone. A 2-run blast for Cooper Bowman. And the Hardhats lead is now 10-1, and that's going to end the ball game because of the 8-run rule. Cooper Bowman's first hit will be his last hit of the ball game. Hardhats take this one, 10-1. Game 3 of the Firecracker. They have a 3-0 record.
Post 22, Cooper Bowman, his 7th home run of the season, which leads the team now. And 3 RBIs for Cooper, 54 on the season. 10-1 the final, with Post 22 collecting 10 runs on 9 hits with no errors. A run for Missoula in the game. They had a total of 3 hits, and they committed 3 errors. Post 22 advancing now to 3-0 in the Firecracker tournament, and for Missoula, they dropped to 1-2, and Post 22 avenges their earlier loss to Missoula 5-3 in the Billings road trip to start the road season for Post 22, and they are now 36-4 for the Hardhats, 3-0 in the tournament. Missoula 1-2. Great pitching effort here, Mark, for Zach Cholas.
Absolutely. Cholas went 5 innings, 4 strikeouts to 3 walks, 2 hit batsmen, though. 1 earned run on a pair of hits, and then Dylan Ritchie in relief came in for just 1 hit allowed. Not a single run came across, though, and he did strike out 1 as well, but also did hit a batter. And I know that for you and I, Tom, that's a big pet peeve with these Hardhats pitchers now hitting batters. And you think that you're at a point in the season where you've seen enough batters, you've played enough baseball, that won't be a factor for you, that you can start just pitching your game, playing with a little more confidence and not worrying about making contact with these batters. But unfortunately for some, it's still a problem.
You know, and to be honest with you, some coaches don't mind the hit batters. I'm not saying this is the Post 22 pitchers or coach's attitude, but I talked to a coach on a recent road trip we were talking, I was mentioning all the hit batters. He says, well, good. I like to see my pitchers throw inside. And which there is some truth to that. But on the other hand, if you end up losing the game because of a hit batsman, you may feel differently. But good win for Post 22, and now that puts the pressure on Eden Prairie to win their game. Coming up at 5:30, Eden Prairie will take on Yakima, Washington. Eden Prairie is 2-0. Yakima is 1-1 in the tournament. So that game will get underway at 5:30. Our next game at 3 has Rocky Mountain and Mountain West. Rocky Mountain out of Colorado, Mountain West out of Utah. They're both 1-1. And Eden Prairie 2-0 against Yakima, 1-1 at 5:30. 8 o'clock tonight, Post 22 will take its 3-0 record against that Premier West team out of Colorado. And Premier West is 1-1 in the tournament. 10-1, Post 22, and you look at this game, pretty tight game. Post 22 had scored a run in the first inning on Solano's RBI double. They got an RBI single from Solano in the third inning to make it 2-0. And then Missoula came back with a run in the fourth to make it 2-1 off Cholas, who pitched out of what could have been a much greater inning for Missoula. And then Post 22 broke away with 4 runs on 3 hits in the fourth inning. And that pretty much opened the game up. And then they finished it off with 4 runs in the sixth, including the 3-run homer from Cooper Bowman. So that brings us, as I said, to our next broadcast tonight at 8 o'clock with Premier West, both on Hardhat TV here and on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. And we'll be on the air right around 8 o'clock. Hopefully everything will stay on schedule as it has been so far in the tournament. It's been amazing, even with the rain we had yesterday, how we kept everything on schedule. And today we had a few drops of rain, but just a few sprinkles that lasted just a couple of 3 minutes. Still mostly overcast, but there's no rain in the forecast for tonight, so we look forward to tonight's game against Premier West. Post 22 won 3 out of 4 against Premier West in Denver a couple of weekends ago. Are you waiting for me to say good afternoon, Mark?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I've got nothing else to say. It's pretty much been said. It was a great effort by Post 22 today, 3-0 in the Firecracker. And a big matchup tonight against Premier West, so they need to be on their game once again.
Guess we should mention Zach Solano went 3 for 4, 3 RBIs in the game, scored a run. Bowman's 3-run homer, his team leading 7th, gives him a team leading 54 RBIs in the game. And a couple of hits for Justin Kramer and a walk, and he scored 3 runs and had an RBI. Zach Cholas picks up the win. Post 22-10, Missoula 1. Good afternoon, Mark.
Good afternoon, Tom. We will see you tonight in a little less than 6 hours. Thanks so much for tuning in today, folks. For today's broadcast on Hardhats TV, like Tom said, we will be on ESPN tonight on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. For my partner, Tom Rudabush, for our director of Hardhats TV, Destin Human, this is Mark Minetti saying so long, good afternoon, and we'll see you in less than 6 hours.